But first, here are some of our stories in brief. We begin with the Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibukun Amosu. He has been reacting to the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari, describing it as a victory for democracy. According to the governor, the result shows the wishes of Nigerians for the president to continue with what he's doing in the country. He's also calling for prayers and support for the president-elect to make him succeed. Elsewhere, the People's Democratic Party in Plateau State is calling on INEC, and they're saying they want INEC to release the results of the National Assembly elections which held on Saturday to avoid any breakdown of law and order due to the continued delay in announcing winners of the election. State chairman of the party, Damishi Sango, during a press briefing in Jos, states that the resident electoral commissioner in the state should be held responsible for any disturbances that might emanate, and saying that the results should be announced. Elsewhere, the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari has been described as an opportunity to further develop Kwara State economically and educationally. The Kwara State spokesperson of the Buhari support group, while addressing journalists, said all sectors will be touched during the second coming of the president, as the state will witness rapid development. And let's join our guest, Mr. Mondu Ubani, legal practitioner. We've been talking about the election so far. So let's look at some of the irregularities coming forth. We also have several videos. We don't even know what year. Some people are saying it's past elections, but all of this will be brought to the tribunal.
That's right.
How do they assemble this?
Well, it's a matter of evidence. The Electoral Act is very specific at what makes somebody to be a winner. There must be what we call compliance with electoral processes. Now, if there is non-compliance and the result is announced in such a manner that doesn't warrant you being declared a winner, the judiciary will come in and look at the entire processes and look at the evidence that is being adduced by the petitioner and look at also the defense of the person who has been declared a winner. And then the court now will now evaluate the evidence. Now, if you allege crime, you have to also prove beyond reasonable doubt, and that is the law presently, even though it's a civil matter. So you must be very careful what you are alleging. If you allege crime, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt before the court can go ahead and nullify that particular victory. So it's going to be a battle. Lawyers are gearing up, to handle the electoral matters, and then the judges are already named. So it's going to be a very busy period because virtually everyone is complaining. Anyone who has lost is complaining. And of course, you hear the PDP presidential aspirant saying that he's going to declare his intention in a few days' time. I don't think that he's not going to go to court. He's going to go to court. He may likely go to court because he has threatened that. And so it is issue of evidence now. But you have to be careful to assemble your evidence, and also will I want INEC to cooperate with the petitioners, by providing all those basic materials that will be used as evidence.
If we have a video like the one the governor of Rivers State is dismissing, a thumbprinting video of a particular political party, and that comes to court, how does the judge interpret?
The court will look at there are processes before you can even tender it. You follow the normal rules of the court in order to tender the video evidence, and of course you'll be cross-examined based upon what you have tendered. No, he was making a case that if you look at a particular video, that if it's actually a secret recording, that some of the things that transpired wouldn't have. And so this is where the lawyers come in order to examine, cross-examine the person who is not tendering the video. And at the end, if he succeeds in making mockery and nonsense of the video that has been tendered, it affects what we call the value, the evidential value that the court will attach to the video. So this is a time where lawyers, the superior learning and argument will come in. And it's an interesting time for some of us who are lawyers, to follow up and see how these things will play out. I tell you, it's going to be a litany of several litigation.
On the other hand, several other lawyers, even senior advocates, are telling, perhaps saying that some of the politicians shouldn't go to court, that it will be a waste of their time.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is that, litigation is good. But sometimes, it creates some level of crisis also. This statement now, I heard that Abakoba and the rest of them, who is a senior advocate, they say, look, Mr. Alhaji Atiku shouldn't, in order to reduce the tension and allow, foreigners, because foreigners will be watching. and seeing how you resolve these issues. And because if there are crises, they will not want to, bring in their money. So these are statesmen advising, look, is there any way we can actually, move on and allow this to, but of course, you, the petitioner, we have to make up your mind. It's not as a result of that advice. If you feel that you have a very legitimate, strong matter that you think that the court can intervene, then I think the person should be encouraged to, because we have to develop our jurisprudence, in this regard.
Indeed, we do. Thank you so much, Mr. Monday Bani, for joining us on the program.
It's my pleasure.
Well, the second phase of the Buhari administration begins. Nigerians expressed what they expect the government to tackle as soon as possible in order to get the confidence of the people. Well, our correspondent Chris Elems has this report.
With the declaration of the final result for the presidential election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, Nigerians now know who leads the country in the next 4 years. What do they expect from this administration? And what should this administration be doing in order to fix the shortcomings of the last 4 years?
First, I'll need them to find technocrats to run the economy. That would be a bridging factor between the people and the government.
Since they've banned importation of some goods, those goods that have been banned, they need to improve on them so we'll be able to produce our own locally.
Well, I think they should just improve on the power sector. Let them just give us light at least.
A major campaign point of the Buhari's administration in the last 4 years is the fight against corruption for many. This must be sustained.
More people should be convinced at this time, not just to use media.
Yes, corruption is very key, but if you look at trying to restructure Nigeria, Nigeria needs to be moved forward. A lot of things, people are not happy.
If the voting pattern of the election is a reflection of how divided the country has become, then this too is an issue that must be tackled.
The day me and you, as Nigeria, decided to be patriotic, decided to live by the basic principles of life and leave wastage, we will be fine as a nation.
We hope the president will assist as a father, pull Nigerians together so that we wouldn't split.
The country's budgetary allocation to education in 2018 was 7%, which is a far cry from the 26% recommended by UNICEF. Expectations are that more is done in this regard to improve the sector.
It wasn't palatable that the university system were shut down for some months. And they also politically were shut down for some months.
The school feeding program that Mr. President has started all over the nation, and that one is going on very well.
The informal sector accounts for a substantial part of the country's GDP. For the operators, the government must show commitment to its growth.
I expect microcredit schemes that will offer soft loans to entrepreneurs.
As the new regime begins, it will make a lot of sense to deal with these expectations one at a time. Chris Elems, Channels Television News.
So there's still so much that you and I want. Hashtag my expectations sent to us at Channels TV. Hashtag my expectations. Many thanks for watching the program at this time. I'm Millicent Walker. I'll see you soon.